Alright guys, hello once again. Welcome to the second part or the second episode of Thoughts of a Beginner Trader. Today, as you can see, we are actually on the negative on 3% for right now. I do still have one position open. And today all of the plays was actually done by me, and I didn't actually get no alerts from uh, the group chat itself or the SpudZone. Alright, just to start off, I did start the morning with two contracts on Tesla. Let's see if we can pull up a little bit to show pretty much our plays. And I tapped it on. Alright. And it will be right here. So this was the play that I got into the morning, which was around 9:49, which was around this movement right here. And then I sold it mostly over here. So we did have into the 245 puts, the expiration by the end of the week. And I actually got in at 398 and 4.8. I did feel like the premiums were a little bit too hefty today when it came to the Tesla contracts, but I still went up for it since I still had the capital to play the position for it. So pretty much what I saw into it coming over here, it was this downside. So this downside, as soon as I saw that it was actually coming down a little bit, and with some strength, as you can see, the volume was picking up. So I did decide to get into the trade right here. As soon as he broke the low of the day, I got into it, and then I let it play for a little bit. And then I actually decided to leave this part mostly because I did see the pullback, and I had this level from the days before, so I just used it as pretty much my support level. So I was already skeptical that it was going to stop right there. So I sold all of it right away because it was just a 20%, and it was the value for 164 since it was pretty hefty contracts. Just a 20%, it actually paid out right away. And now going to the second position for it. The second one, it was on SPY, and I got into a couple of contracts for it. Going over it, I have on yellow my entry points. So right here was actually when I got into it, and it was also the same situation. The volume was picking up itself, even though it was towards the selling side. Yeah, so I was still betting on to go down. I got in at 74, and then I sold mostly at zero point 0.9 and zero point 0.8. I sold the majority at zero point 0.9, which was around the 20%, and also a little bit at zero point 0.8, which was around 19%. So once the play, as soon as the MACD line crossed over the signal line, I decided to get into it as soon as the volume was also a little bit picking up. Um, so I took that as my signals for it. From that, I kind of let it play a little bit into it. I also let it hit higher today, what was kind of going to be my stop loss for it, and especially using also the previous levels from, or the key pivot levels from yesterday, which was right here on this one. So I was using this one as my stop loss. So fortunately enough, it didn't actually hit. It was about to, but then it pulled down. I still let it play most of it into it until I sold it about over here. And the reason why I mostly sold most of it, so I did have 8 contracts. I sold 5 of them over here, was simply because I did see a little bit of a pullback right here from this candle, as you can see, but it still continued a little bit, and then I finished it up around over here, if I remember correctly, which was a little bit onto the loss side. Uh, it was still not a bad trade. As pretty much I saw the pullback coming into it, and also the selling episode was kind of reaching towards an end, so I decided to hop off that trade right there. Now let's go for the next one. Our next one, it was doing the Nvidia, and this one I was betting for the contract to go up. I did see quite a few potential when it came to Nvidia today. Let me see if I put up, which was around 1042, which was actually around that time. So I actually got into the trade right there. And my point was, this one was pretty much my resistance level, so I was waiting for Nvidia to actually break into it. And if I actually remove this one, you can see that it actually broke, and that's when I decided to go into the trade. I did see that it was still having some power into it, and also if you pay attention into this part, the volume was picking up. So it was a little bit, and then it started picking up, and that's when I decided to get into the trade. It was exactly on this candle. Fortunately enough, it did go down most of it, but I was also using these last few ones as the support level, so I could actually use it as my stop loss. And even if I go, if I look into it, it was pretty much only because on the 5-minute candles we had these two candles that actually reached from this top and used it as support. So I took it a little bit as a signal from it, and I let it play it from there. Um, Post that, I did let it play a little bit more. It came down a little bit, and then it finally broke the high of the day, which was where I actually sold most of it. And those ones it did came for another 20%. Um, Oh, sorry. I let it play out for most of it. It arrived over here, and then I had just simply had the stop loss for a little bit less than break even, as I was expecting Nvidia to actually go a little bit further, because I did see this part from here, and it was actually picking up a little bit, and especially from this candle that got the volume, so I actually let it out, and then I was actually watching the other plays or other tickers itself move, so I didn't properly pay attention, and then boom, it did hit my stop loss, which was a minus 8%, which it just gave into a loss of $47, while compared to the other one, it was 164 on the positive and 98 on the positive, and then I did have a little drawback on the 50. Now the next one, it was again on SPY, but it was again a little bit later, which was right here onto these entry points. So right here, it was really simple, and you can actually see most of it. Instead of me actually buying over here into the dip, which I kind of having a little bit issue on finding the perfect dip, I was waiting for the breakout. So before, as you can see, all this one's triple top right here, and actually went down, and then it came back up, another top, and then it came back down again towards a little support level that I can actually see right here on a couple of candles. And then from that, as soon as he touched into it, I was just waiting for that breakout to see if it was going to actually break out or if it was going to just consolidate around this area. And it did break out. I actually bought right here, like right away. Luckily enough, there wasn't enough strength to push it right away, so it actually filled the contract right there on the breakout. And then I did get this nice little volume right here, which I sold most of it actually at the top, and then I sold the rest of it on the stop loss with a couple of profit, and that was pretty much like my biggest trade of the day, and also like a decent percentage, which was on positive 133. And then now this is where I came a little bit stupid and actually shouldn't have done that. I let my feelings kind of get involved into it, which was on the QQQ. So for this one, it was actually pretty simple. Or my thoughts was QQQ. Of course, it has a huge influence with them with the Mag 7. So from that, I was watching this movement right here, and I was waiting for the MACD to cross the line, but I was trying to again, hence why I'm having trouble finding a little bit of the dips into it. So I was waiting for the MACD to cross the signal line, but unfortunately it did not. I saw that it was coming like a little bit lower into it. The volume was also picking up a little bit, but unfortunately it didn't. It wasn't enough. So I actually got into the trade, and then as soon as he did, it actually went down from it. So it was kind of pretty much just trying to, I would say it was a bull trap, because as soon as he broke the other levels from the day, which was right here like a triple top, it didn't properly go for it and actually rejected. And I should honestly have it. I should have seen it come essentially because of these two times right here, since both of them hit the support level and then it actually rejected from it. But unfortunately it did, and then it draw down for it. This one was going to be my stop loss from it, and it hit, which it drew a massive 39% of loss, which since everything else of I was even paying attention to the other Mag 7 stocks, including Apple, Tesla, and Nvidia, and they were all of them was pretty much about to turn onto the MACD signal, but unfortunately none of them did. It was right on the verge, but then they just dropped all of them, so it made me do uh, a bigger loss, and especially because I did go a little bit heavier in the position since everything was lining up to it. So I was really hoping that I was going to break out and at least reach new highs of the day, but unfortunately It did not, or not even new highs of the day, but actually just go past this top, and it would have been a decent profit, around 300 bucks, which would have been amazing, as I would have met my goal right there. But unfortunately, it did not happen. So from that, I took the massive loss. Because instead of me, all these positions were pretty much 500 bucks on each of them, except for this one. This one, since I saw most of the signal and looking for the breakout, I actually did the double of the position, which was 1,000 bucks. So of course it was a heavier loss. And then from that, I was already running low into my buying power. Um, so as soon as I actually got up over here, I let it play out a little bit more, and I actually bought this dip, thinking that it was going to pretty much retest this line and shoot it back up. But unfortunately it did not. So I actually got into another trade right here with the rest of my buying power, which was about 550 to 600 bucks. And unfortunately, it's still coming down a little bit, and it's finally now coming a little bit back up. I'm still on the negative part for it. Um, as you can see, I'm still minus 43%. But I am hoping that right now during power hour, we can actually get some buyer strength into it, and at least push it towards a good 595, around like this level. And I think I should be up 20% from it. If it does break the 496 or even above this top, I should be already into a good 60% to 70%, which would bring me back up a nice percentage into it. But I might just update that towards the end of the video, as I still don't have the statistics for those ones. So, but for at the moment, let's just make some quick calculations and actually calculate the net profit that it is going on right now. So we were down at least 60 bucks from that play, and then also now the majority, it was from this play right now, which I'm still waiting on it, which for at the moment is still down about $200, $300. So hence why my account would still be down a decent percentage today to, there you go, to almost 300 bucks. So that's the only last play for right now. I'm gonna let it play it out a little bit more until maybe like about 1:40 to 2 o'clock, just to see if after a little bit of lunchtime. So usually we start picking up around 1:30 to 2:30, to see if we can actually break it down again above VWAP and actually maintain that part. That even in case if it drops again, we can use the VWAP as a support to continue the movement back up. Um, but those pretty much are my trades for at the moment. I will update you guys towards the end of the video, which it should be actually really soon, as I'm trying to again keep the videos under 10 minutes. So I'll be back as soon as I have the answer for the last contracts. Alright guys, welcome back, welcome back. We did close it out, still the last play into a loss. Unfortunately, it was around a negative 44% of a loss. I did average it out a little bit um, in here, so pretty much it was a little bit on 0.82, but then I also bought a little bit of very low at 0.29, if I remember. So it did average it out to a good $69 a contract, and then I sold it for 38 for all of them. So it did diminish a little bit of the losses. I sold one of the GameStop contracts for 44% profit. It is coming down a little bit more, but I'm still gonna hold the other one overnight just in case if you do rip it throughout the week. And I did just I had still had a $4 of buying power, so I did go for the Beto. So another, of course, another Bitcoin strategy, just to see if throughout the week we can actually beat new highs, especially since Bitcoin it is about to be 65,000. So hopefully we do get some decent momentum. Oh, there you go, and it did beat 65,000. To see if we can just continue the movement until a good 66,400, and then continuation upon that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So our day P&L, we are on the loss of $217, unfortunately, compared to yesterday. But tomorrow it is a better day. Tomorrow we will come back together and stronger. So thank you guys so much for watching once again, and do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you, thank you.